I have item number, it's kind of confusing, but if you must have it, I will call it a transaction.
Okay. Yeah, because we were kind of relying on that one because it refers to, we have other things that build on that one. Because without having that unique, it's our only primary key in this table. If we don't have that key, then we can't specifically identify these other pieces of information.
Okay, so transaction.
Okay, transaction ID, completely cool with that.
Will it refer to the shipment number or?
So what would happen is that we're here, and I've got my shipment in. Here's our shipment line. It's 50 whatever, and I say okay. There's my tracking item, and then that's how it pulls into and say okay, 50 in. It's going in here. That's the reason why we have the tracking number in that line as well. When we receive it, it wouldn't be. I mean, it wouldn't have it here at the vendor. It would be added when we are at the warehouse.
So then, wouldn't this have one-to-one correspondence? Because
yes, it would. This would be one-to-one. Actually, I think that one may. Oh, this is just a problem with the software. I think that we had another entity.
I'm just telling this line is okay.
Yeah.
But then this is not many.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is
every
that
transaction is a unique, and so this is the item that is here as well.
Yeah, no, one-to-one. You are correct. That should be one-to-one.
So that's say like a one-to-one.
Yeah.
So then, where does this go in post? It goes in post here.
In terms of what?
Quantity on hand, etc.
Yeah. Yes, quantity on hand is actually stored with the item.
Item plus price description. Okay, so we update this quantity on hand from this.
Correct. And then that's the advantage about it is that we know ideally how much. It's like, hey, go out and count this. We should have 100 of these things. Oh crud, we don't have 100. Then we make a transaction and we adjust the inventory in the warehouse.
Okay, so other than transaction number, we need a transaction type also.
Okay.
Because many different transaction types will occur.
Gotcha.
That will affect the quantity.
Yeah.
So one is this
shipment received.
Shipment receipt. Other may be a customer return.
Yep.
Other may be like an inventory adjustment. That will also change the quantity.
Yep.
So the transaction type, and then in stock, out stock, I would just say quantity. The type will define what quantity it is. The transaction type is material receipt, then the quantity is material accepted. The transaction type is a delivery note, there will be then the quantity.
And then we have the logic inside the SQL to say, do we add that or subtract that?
Your program will have that logic for each transaction type.
Right.
We have predefined transaction types. Some are additive, some are subtractive.
Yeah. So actually, so this is actually was in some of the old like Oracle like documentations. They actually say this because from a computer, because from a computer's perspective, you say, hey, sum these two columns and subtract the two columns. But that's, I mean, what you're saying is completely fine for our hypothetical system.
Type, warehouse location. I mean, there are so many transactions that we don't need. Can't we standardize the warehouse location here for each item?
No, because you could have an item in two locations. What happens if you have two pallets on opposite end of the warehouse for the same item? Or what happens? Or here's the other example. The thing about the tracking. So I send one person to go get 5 of a certain item. We pull our 5.
Okay. So
yeah.
I would call it a standard warehouse location for that type of
okay.
item.
Yeah, sure. No, that's cool.
This is where we can keep the overflow warehouse location. Means if there were more than what your standard location is, then you can put somewhere else. That also apply only to the incoming material, not outgoing.
Right. Well, and there's other things like they'll like reorganize the warehouses and stuff like that. So you could have a transaction type of move, and we moved one pallet from this location to another location.
So the condition, what do you mean? I mean,
so the condition, because remember we didn't have this over here for tracking. So what the idea about it is that if we